Good evening and many thanks for joining us. You're watching QTV Nightly News, coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue with me, Ansmane Nyasi. First, here are the main news headlines. At a press conference today, victims of a recent demolition in Old Yundum by the Department of Physical Planning and Housing appealed to the government for help to reclaim their properties. The Gambia on Thursday joined the rest of the world to commemorate International Labour Day or Workers' Day held on 1st of May each year. On Wednesday, Huawei Technologies Gambia Limited hosted a Huawei Digital Power Day event to showcase innovative digital power solutions. And as part of ongoing efforts to combat rising cases of hypertension, the Non-Communicable Disease Control Unit convened a two-day forum focused on early detection, management and control of the condition. Green Africa and partners commemorated Earth Day on Wednesday to demonstrate support for environmental preservation and protection. Stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. And now here's the news in focus. Victims of a recent demolition carried out by the Department of Fiscal Planning and Housing in Old Yundum are appealing to the government for assistance to reclaim their properties. The affected individuals held a press conference today at Yarambamba in Old Yundum to voice their concerns. Usman Jata tells us more.
Land disputes remain a growing challenge in the Gambia, with increasing numbers of people falling victim to properties purchased on land reportedly designated as government reserve areas. The recent demolition of alleged illegal structures by the Department of Physical Planning and Housing in Old Yundum has raised serious concerns among affected communities. Many now wonder where will be the next target and who will be the next victim. The demolition exercise has affected completed and under construction buildings, perimeter fences, water tanks, and even multi-story structures. As a result, many property owners have been left devastated, feeling helpless. At this press briefing, victims gathered alongside representatives from their real estate partner, S&J Properties, to share documentation and provide clarity on how they acquired their plots. According to Abdullah Jeng, logistics manager at S&J Properties, they had obtained valid approval documents from the DPPH.
The same physical planning, approval for that land.
The same physical planning gave us approval for this land. This is the sketch plan approved and stamped by physical planning and endorsed by the Chief of Combo North. If they truly wanted accurate information, they should have contacted us or responded to the court summons to give their side of the story.
Officials from S&J Properties argue that the Department of Physical Planning and Housing had initially assured them that only structures located within 150 meters of the OIC highway would be subject to demolition. However, during the exercise, the company discovered that structures beyond this boundary were also targeted. Sana Cham, along with other victims including Momodu E. Jallo, Sering Abdul Tal, and Tamsir Njai, described the demolition as unjust and called on the government to intervene.
Demolishing our houses without warning is heartbreaking. We are citizens too, and we have invested millions in our properties.
Why did it take so long that an estate that is actually registered by government is doing something illegal, and then you under your watch, nothing is done? At the end, the victims are actually penalized for you not doing a job, estate not adhering to law. This is our concern. So the government have a responsibility. Government first response is to protect the citizens, ordinary citizens.
Seeing your house and fence demolished is painful. The government is empowered by the people, so it should show empathy. Most of us rely on our savings to buy land.
Government
Minister of Land.
We are pleading with the Minister of Lands and all relevant authorities to help us recover our properties. Some people cannot even sleep, living in constant fear.
Tensions remain high in Olyndum as displaced residents cling to the hope of reclaiming their lost properties amidst ongoing legal battles and mounting calls for justice, transparency and dialogue between authorities and affected communities. Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
Now, the Gambia on Thursday joined the rest of the world to commemorate International Labour Day or Workers' Day, held on 1st May each year. The event was held at the Makati Square in Banjul. Maudie Gajaga attended the opening ceremony and he now reports.
International Labour Day, also known as Workers' Day, is celebrated globally to honor the dedication and hard work of workers everywhere. In Banjul, 30 institutions from both the public and private sectors came together to mark the occasion. The celebration began with a march past from the Never Again Memorial Arch to Makati Square, followed by statements, the reading of resolutions, and concluded with a range of sporting activities. International Labour Day provides an opportunity for workers and civil servants to critically reflect on workers' rights, working conditions, and terms of employment, with the aim of advocating for better remuneration and ensuring dignity in the workplace. Ibrahim Agaba Cham, the Secretary General of the Gambia Trade Union Congress, spoke about the significance of the day.
It's a great day whereby workers should make projections relating to their terms and conditions of employment, their living conditions, their health, and etc., and give it to government for government to take appropriate actions in giving solutions to their problems.
Under the theme, Safety and Health of Workers, which emphasizes the importance of strengthening workplace safety standards and promoting both the physical and mental well-being of employees, Gambian workers have renewed their calls for establishment of a national minimum wage to guarantee decent work and social justice. Also, there is a growing advocacy for a review of the Injury Compensation Act. Dr. Ismaila Cisse, Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, represented the Minister of Trade.
The Gambia government has been actively working to empower workers in a labor market that assures the welfare and protection of every worker and promotes social dialogue and job security. Furthermore, occupational safety and health, among others, are all guaranteed in the recent legislations. To be more specific, the Labour Act of 2023. The government of the Gambia also provides assurances for existing and prospective workers, employment opportunities ranging from informal to formal entrepreneurships, internships, to permanent contractual employment.
Bakari Waibaje, Minister of Youth and Sports, emphasized that individuals whose livelihoods depend on sports deserve fair and decent pay, noting that they serve as valuable ambassadors of the country.
That both athletes, coaches, administrators, and general sport managers require good wages that will propel them to be able to deliver according to the expectations of the people that they serve and the association for which they work for. In recent years, the Gambia has witnessed the transformative power of sports. It has created jobs, keep young people positively engaged, promote healthy living, and showcase our talents at the national, sub-regional, and at international level.
Workers in the Gambia have consistently called for the introduction of a minimum wage system, improved working conditions, and stronger labor laws to safeguard their rights and ensure fair treatment. Maudie Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, happy Workers' Day to all of you out there. Now, on Wednesday, Huawei Technologies Gambia Limited hosted a Huawei Digital Power Day event to showcase innovative digital power solutions that align with the Gambia's commitment to environmental sustainability and renewable energy. Mamna Bukar has the rest of that story.
The event brought together government officials, industry leaders, and stakeholders in the energy sector to discuss innovative technologies that can help the country meet its growing energy demands while reducing its carbon emissions. As more renewable energy is used, power systems around the world are struggling to keep the grid stable because of high levels of renewable energy integration. The Gambia, which aims to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, is not an exception to this challenge. To curb this issue, Huawei, a telecom giant that has been in existence for over 40 years, through its Fusion Solar initiative, aims to provide smart photovoltaic and energy storage system solutions for utility-scale, residential, and commercial and industrial applications. These solutions focus on reliability, effectiveness, safety, and efficiency, incorporating AI-driven features, modular designs, and smart monitoring to enhance power generation, storage, and distribution. This is William Zhang, the Managing Director of Huawei Gambia Limited.
Gambia, frankly speaking, that our power systems have a big potential. And as we know that solar is free to every one of us. And I think it's a good time for all of us to start the solar systems. Not only every house and every organization, even the national grid, the NAVEC.
Among the key innovations discussed were the residential lunar SO and industrial and commercial energy storage system, battery-based solutions designed to manage energy usage, reduce costs, and improve reliability in homes and businesses. They store electricity during off-peak hours and discharge it during peak demand, maximizing self-consumption of renewable energy and providing backup power during outages. Here are K. Mosise, the Director of Energy at the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, and Babukar Saho, the Deputy CEO of GCCI.
Since our independence, we have been primarily producing our power mainly from imported fossil fuel. As we all know, if you don't control these sources, the international price fluctuation will take their toll on our small economy.
Here in the Gambia, where industrial electricity costs consumes up to 35% of operational budgets, this energy revolution presents not just environmental necessity, but unprecedented economic opportunity to power industry, to create jobs, and also power particularly small and medium enterprises.
Stephen Aban is the Managing Director of Access Bank, who will play a key role with the green loans for financing green solutions in the Gambia.
We believe that real lasting change can only take place if we come together, work together, share ideas together to uplift our communities.
The Gambian government has set ambitious targets to revitalize its energy sector by 2030 and reaffirms its commitment to leverage the cutting-edge technology introduced by Huawei to empower local communities, improve energy efficiency, and drive economic growth through sustainable practices. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
And from the report there by Mamna Buka, we are taking a short commercial break. But when we return, we'll hear about a UN report on the global refugee crisis, revealing that more than 114 million people are currently displaced for various reasons, as well as other stories. Do stay tuned.
réewu Gambia ana ñu ko doon waajal di laajte kañ la ak fan la dama ne may ma sa noppa ma déy la waa Kombo Beach Resort ñoo leen indil Amadou borom Masamba Waalo mu nar a ñëw def kala diina bu doy waar bu nar a neex on the 9 of May lay doon dama ne lii foor na ñu ne amuñu ci loolu dinañu indi Awa Gambia xale bu mun a wëy Awa Gambia nooy ñëwee mu ne ma kapsin dinaa def lu foor ndax kat ku ma xam ma ci mbalax mu tar mi dinaa indi ñaar fukki sabar waaw kay Kombo Beach Resort ne amuñu ci loolu dinañu indi malls mu ñëw toj Souleymane yi ñëw tojcanti ko kon nag book leen seeni tables gold table $50,000 platinum table $60,000 individual duga bi $4,000 kon nag reservation enquiries number 764-7777
sama mbokku Gambien yi maa leen jox rendez-vous inshallah le 9 mai waaw Kombo Beach.
Ça va? Ça va, bien.
Oryx, with you all the way.
Powered by Africa, Oryx Energies.
Welcome back. Following the commercial break, be reminded you're watching QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue with me, Ansmane Sonyase. Now, as part of ongoing efforts to combat rising cases of hypertension, the Non-Communicable Disease Control Unit of the Ministry of Health convened a two-day forum on Tuesday focused on early detection, management and control of the condition. Our Bob reports.
The event brought together healthcare professionals, policymakers, and public health experts to review current strategies and strengthen the national response to hypertension. The aim is to enhance the capacity of health workers and encourage evidence-based approaches to treatment and prevention. Jeremiah Mawangi, Director of Policy and Advocacy at the World Heart Federation, underscored the urgent need for stronger policy frameworks and coordinated efforts to address the growing burden of hypertension, especially in low and middle income countries.
Hosting this event, but also for the commitment that's been shown to cardiovascular disease and hypertension. I think we'll hear a bit about the burden of cardiovascular disease, but as we all know, it's the #1 killer in the world, but yet actually it's fairly neglected in terms of resources, technical assistance, donor funds, relative to other conditions. And part of that is because people live with it for a long time. It's a long-term condition. There are many different cardiovascular diseases. That doesn't necessarily create the urgency that's there in the minds of donors and others. But actually this is a problem that's affecting populations everywhere in the world.
Dr. Robert Nansen is the WHO Malaria Program Officer.
The World Health Organization remains committed to supporting countries in developing and improving effective policies that save lives and promote well-being for all. In 2021, WHO releases a new guideline for pharmacological treatment of hypertension in adults. The publication provides evidence-based recommendations for the initiation of treatment of hypertension.
Hypertension, commonly known as high blood pressure, is a medical condition where the force of the blood against the walls of the arteries is consistently too high. Dr. Yusuf Toure, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health, highlighted the growing impact of hypertension on public health, stressing the importance of integrated interventions, lifestyle changes, and community-level engagement to reduce the disease burden.
Hypertension is one of the major NCDs that remains a significant public health challenge in the Gambia, affecting countless Gambians and placing immense strain on our healthcare system, especially uncontrolled hypertension, which can lead to severe health complications such as strokes and kidney failure, just to name a few. We must empower our healthcare providers with the necessary knowledge and skills to deliver the best possible care for patients living with hypertension and ensure that effective management and prevention strategies are in place.
The prevalence of hypertension in the Gambia is high, with data indicating that approximately 47% of the adult population is hypertensive. A substantial portion of these individuals remain undiagnosed, particularly men. The Ministry of Health has implemented various initiatives, including screening programs and awareness campaigns to address the high prevalence and improve access to treatment. For QTV News, I am Awa Bob.
Our Green Africa and partners commemorated Earth Day on Wednesday to demonstrate support for environmental protection. Held on the 22nd of April each year, the theme for this year, Our Power, Our Planet, calls for everyone to unite around renewable energy so we can triple clean electricity by 2030. Loliam Kamara was there, and this is her report.
Green Africa and its partners organized a beach cleanup at Palmarima Beach in Senegambia to commemorate the 55th anniversary of the first World Earth Day, first celebrated in 1970. This year's theme, Our Power, Our Planet, emphasizes the shared responsibility of governments, corporations, communities, and individuals in protecting the environment. Additionally, the day demonstrates support for environmental protection and focuses on the urgent need for action to combat climate change and protect our planet for future generations. For Green Africa, one of the Gambia's leading environmental advocacy groups, the day is more than just a cleanup. It is a call to action to protect the country's beautiful coastline and to inspire greater environmental responsibility, particularly among youth. Ibrahim Jatta is the founder of Green Africa.
On the 22nd April is a day set aside by the United Nations to commemorate Earth Day or Mother Earth Day, which I believe that is a very important day because all of us as humans saw ourselves on this earth and we should be able to protect it in a way that it will be sustainable for everyone that is living on it. It is not only human beings, for animals, for trees, we should protect everything.
Established in 2023 as a not-for-profit organization, Green Africa has outlined several initiatives aimed at environmental protection that are set to roll out in the coming months. Shiaka Boja, who sells fruit juice at the beach, expressed his excitement at seeing young volunteers taking part in the cleanup.
I wake up morning, I see my brothers and my sisters, cleaning the beach. So that's even, it's like a surprise to me, Yeah, because, although the new minister is doing his best, to try to make the beach clean. Yeah, but although, the more I see you guys, the more, I felt interest, to helping you guys, because of, you are doing wonderful job in the country. And then I really appreciate it.
Mr. Bojang offered a suggestion for keeping our beaches clean.
Governments also, they have to do their part. Like at the beach, they have to make a garbage box. Like they wrote it there, that's a garbage box. Yeah, but when some people, when they see, maybe that one, they can able to, control the rubbish and then, they can able to put it inside the dustbin. But when they don't see that in the beach, they cannot able to do it.
Mariama Jallo, a volunteer, shared the need and importance of the activity.
It is always said that a clean place is a place where you can perform any type of duty you want, and it is holier too. When you are clean, you can pray more, you can meditate more, especially in the environment.
Earth Day is celebrated in over 190 countries, with millions of people participating in various activities to support environmental protection. Research has shown that the collective efforts on this day had led to significant environmental policies and initiatives worldwide. For QTV News, Loliam Kamara.
That report there by Loli M. Kamara will lead us to international news in a moment. Now, as the global refugee crisis reaches unprecedented levels, with more than 114 million people currently displaced due to war, persecution, climate disasters, and political instability, the United Nations is calling for urgent international support to address growing displacement and protect vulnerable populations. Here's Aissatou Bari.
In his address to the United Nations Security Council, Filippo Grandi, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, told the Council that the plight of millions across the globe is aggravated by the more than 120 conflicts which are raging unabated. Grandi paid particular attention in his remarks to Sudan and Ukraine, where close to 7 million people have become refugees. Grandi also faulted politics across the globe, playing part in the retrenchment away from aid. The briefing comes as refugee camps across Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Europe are stretched beyond capacity. Aid agencies warn that funding gaps and growing anti-migrant policies in the host countries are compounding the problem. In Sudan, over 8 million people have been displaced by conflict in just 1 year. In Gaza, Israel's ongoing military campaign has forced over 1 million Palestinians from their homes. And in Afghanistan and Syria, long-term displacement has become a way of life for millions. The Security Council was urged not to only address the root causes of forced displacement like war and repression, but also to protect the rights of those already on the move. United Nations officials called on the international community to stop politicizing refugee issues and instead treat them with compassion, solidarity, and shared responsibilities. Here in West Africa, instability in the Sahel region is also driving displacement, with Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger seeing rising numbers of internally displaced people. Among the countries offering refuge is the Gambia, which currently hosts more than 4,200 refugees from 21 countries, according to the UNHCR's 2021 data. The majority of refugees in the Gambia come from the neighboring Casamance region of Senegal, where decades of low-intensity conflict continue to uproot families. This ongoing displacement stems from more than 40 years of sporadic clashes and tensions between Senegalese military and MFDC separatist movement. With the number of displaced people growing every day, the United Nations says time is running out, and what happens next will determine whether the world turns its back or opens its arms to those fleeing for their lives. Aissatou Bari, QTV News.
And I'm afraid this is where we draw the curtains on this bulletin. On behalf of the entire production team, thanks for watching, but do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Bye for now.